You said the economy will be diversified through ICT and that there will be an inroad into budgetary and economic development through ICT. 16-18 months gone by the train now. What has been the contribution of your ministry to the national budget, sir?
Well, let me start to say straight away that for the first time, we have ICT contributing more than 10% to the gross domestic product of the country. That has never happened before. In the past, more than 95% of our earnings as a nation had been contributed by petroleum. The reverse is the case now. We've had a lot of foreign direct investments in the ICT industry, and I am happy to say that with the policy framework, positive policy framework that we have put in place, the situation will continue to improve. Of course, I must say that we deserve the support and cooperation and collaboration of the National Assembly, particularly in relation to budget processes. I cannot say with all happiness and joy that we are getting all the support that we need, particularly when budgetary proposals are sent by the executive and actually or literally balkanized at the National Assembly. I think it does not augur well for national assembly, the national development with regard to ICT being able to do the needful in bringing about proper and effective development.
Sir, recently we understand there is going to be an ICT university that will be the first of its kind in Africa. Can you please shed more light on this, sir?
Now, when I came on board as minister, I discovered that even though number one, the ICT industry is growing by leaps and bounds. Number two, I also discovered that we do not as yet have all the requisite skilled personnel to run this industry in the best way that it will contribute, a great value to national development. On the other hand, I also discovered that the ministry, through NCC, National Communications Commission, has what is called, Digital Bridge Institute, which is an institution, dedicated to the training of middle-level manpower on short-term courses basis. 1 week, 2 week courses, at most 3 months courses. And I felt that, again, the infrastructure in this Digital Bridge Institute, which exists in each of the 6 geographical zones, are sufficiently developed such that we can utilize this infrastructure for the purpose of running a university. And again, I discovered that as of now, a lot of the skills that people need to acquire for utilization in the ICT industry are usually acquired from India. India has similar institutions, many of them. So I felt that instead of allowing our people to go into India and thus taking our foreign exchange there, we could now use the Digital Bridge Institute's facilities to run an ICT university. And I'm happy to say that the implementation committee which I set up, on the realization of this ICT university, will be submitting their final report to me on Tuesday by case of law, during which, from that moment we will move to the Federal Executive Council for approval and then appoint a vice chancellor and other principal officers, and hopefully the university will be able to take off in September this year.
Honorable Minister, sir, let's bring it home to Oyo State. We are not oblivious of the fact that you intend contesting for 2019 for the Agodi seat, and you have said, just like you even said today also, that education would be completely free at all levels. Now, that statement tends to contradict the position of Oyo State government as at present, that insists that there is nowhere in the world the education can be completely free. So we want to know how you intend going about that.
We are old enough to know that Chief Obafemi Awolowo during his time, implemented free education at all levels. And if he had become president, he would have extended that to the entire country. I think it's a matter of priority. different people have their different priorities. I, coming from the poor background that I have, and knowing how hard it was to be educated, know that there will be so many, people in similar conditions who deserve the unalloyed support of government. It cannot be true that there's nowhere in the world where there's no free education. It cannot be true. We know very well also that in most of the Arabian countries, education is completely free. Of course, in Saudi Arabia, for instance, you not only don't pay school fees, you are also given monthly stipends. You may say that Saudi Arabia or most of these other countries have petroleum, but Nigeria too had petroleum. How did we manage our petroleum resources? And in any case, let me give you an analogy. If you have 10 children, for instance, and you call all of them together on a particular day and give each of them 100,000 naira. After 3 months, you invite all of them, the 10 of them, and ask how much each of them has managed the amount you gave. There will be some who would have completely exhausted that money on frivolities. There will be some who would have utilized it for business and made profits, varying degrees of profit. There will be some who perhaps will complain that they were victims of 419 and cannot find the money anymore. That will show you that the resources, the same resources that you give to 10 different people would be managed differently. And I can assure you that I, from my experience, as a student of our law politics, would run free education as a priority in Oyo State, so that the pay setter that we used to bear as a state, we will be able to regain that glory as a pay setter in all that is good. And you will agree with me that there's nothing as important as providing education for those who otherwise could not have access to education. Among the poor in society, among the illiterate in society, there are potential professors. Their problem had been that they never had the opportunity of being educated, and so they remain at the low level that they ordinarily ought not to. So for me, free education would be, and I want to challenge any other person trying to contest or aspire for the governorship I want to challenge them on this, that free education is doable. If I have the opportunity, it will be done, and much more would also be added to it.
Yorùbá sà, ojúṣe wo ni ilé-iṣẹ́ yín, ojúṣe wo ni ó ń ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ tàbí tó ti ṣe bọ́ sẹ́yìn lórí ètò ọrọ̀ ajé orílẹ̀-èdè yìí tọ́mẹ̀?
Adúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Mo fẹ́ rán wa létí pé kó tó di pé ìjọba tiwantiwa yìí bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní 1999, United nìkan ní ṣètò ìgbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ fún wa, communications ìbáraẹnisọ̀rọ̀. Ní gbogbo àsìkò yìí dẹ̀ níyì, ẹ rí wípé gbogbo telephone line ta ní Nàìjíríà kò tó ìdajì mílíọ̀nù fún population, fún àwọn èèyàn ta pé 150 million ní Nàìjíríà. Nígbà tí Ọbásanjọ́ dẹ̀ dé, ó mú ìyípadà dé bá ìṣèjọba àti ìgbésẹ̀ aráàlú láti gbìyànjú dá ilé-iṣẹ́ communications tí ó ṣe ètò lórí bí a ṣe máa ní GSM ta ní nísìn, ẹ̀rọ alágbèéká. Ẹnu ìgbà tí ẹ̀rọ alágbèéká yìí ti wá dé, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ iṣẹ́ rírí ṣe ló ti wà. Débi pé lẹ́ni yìí, àwọn tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ lórí the communications, débi pé ètò gbé ìbáraẹnisọ̀rọ̀, wọ́n ti pọ̀ ju àwọn tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ nílé epo petroleum káàkiri Nàìjíríà lọ. Léè tó yẹ pé ká ní kò sí ilé-iṣẹ́ wa tí ó sì sí àǹfààní GSM, gbogbo wọn ó sì ṣe kán mọ́ tàlàkà káàkiri. Ọ̀nà míì ni wípé lẹ́ni yìí a ti ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn láti ẹ̀yìn odi tí wọ́n ti wá kó owó wá láti wá fi dókòwò nínú ICT tàbí ká pé nínú telecommunications. Gbogbo owó tán kó wá yìí ó ń ran àwọn báǹkì wa lọ́tọ̀ọ́rí báǹkì owó wà ń báǹkì fáwọn èèyàn láti máa yá láti fi ṣòwò. Lẹ́yìn náà ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn tó tún ríṣẹ́ ṣe, àwọn náà tún ní àǹfààní àti máa san tax, owó orí àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. So àdẹ́ká tó wá pé àwọn tí ń ta káàdì káàkiri, ẹlẹ́mọ̀yé yẹn tí ń ta káàdì credit card nílùú kọ̀ọ̀kan. So ìgbìyànjú wa ni láti pé a ṣe òfin tó tọ́ tó sì yẹ, tó fi jẹ́ pé iṣẹ́ òwò ẹ̀rọ ìbáraẹnisọ̀rọ̀ ó ń kó ipa dáadáa nínú okòwò ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà débi pé lẹ́ni yìí ń sìn nínú 100 ìdá tó ń jẹ́ owó tó ń wọlé fún ìjọba Nàìjíríà, ìdá 10 ló jẹ́ pé látara ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ ló wá. Eléyìí ò ṣẹlẹ̀ rí, ó sì fún wa ní ìfàyàbalẹ̀ pé pẹ̀lú ògo Ọlọ́run bí owó epo tó ń wọlé láti epo bó ṣe ń lọlẹ̀ sí, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni owó tó ń wọlé fún ìjọba látara ICT àti telecommunications bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó ń ga sí. Pẹ̀lú ògo Ọlọ́run eléyìí ìlọsíwájú yìí yóò dẹ̀ túbọ̀ máa ṣẹlẹ̀.
ọmọ ogun pọ́nbélé ní sà ẹ̀dẹ̀ nígbàgbọ́ pé kò sí iléeṣẹ́ kankan lókè Ògùn àgbẹ̀ ló pọ̀ jù ń bẹ̀. Tẹ́bádẹ́ rí wàhálà tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lójoojúmọ́ àgbẹ̀ àti Fúlàní ni tó jẹ́ pé ó máa ń pa àwọn àgbẹ̀ lẹ́kún tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n roko wọn ò bòkó jẹ́. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá di gómìnà ó dàbẹ́ ní pé gbogbo ibi tẹ́ ń lọ dá sí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí, ṣé ẹ faramọ́ ni àbí kò ní?
Mi ò lè faramọ́ kí àwọn èèyàn máa dáko kí Fúlàní máa fi màálù ìdókò. Ẹnikẹ́ni torí ẹ̀ bá pé kò ní ẹ̀bà faramọ́. Pọ́blẹ́mù yìí ó jẹ mọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ètò ààbò, ọ̀rọ̀ security, ó dẹ̀ tún jẹ mọ́ nǹkan tó yìnbọn gbogbo Nàìjíríà tó jẹ́ pé a gbọ́dọ̀ gbìyànjú láti wá iṣẹ́ ṣe sí. Nígbà tí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀, mo rántí pé àwọn gómìnà wa wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ pé kò gbọ́dọ̀ sí pé àwọn èèyàn àwọn Fúlàní pé wọ́n ń fi oko ẹranko. Ṣé rí wọ́n ní tá a bá gba àkàrà lọ́wọ́ ọmọdé yóò níbi tí a fi oko. Nǹkan pàtàkì tá a ní láti mójútó ni wípé a fẹ́ akọ àwọn Fúlàní yìí wọ́n mọ̀ da ẹran káàkiri. Ó yẹ kíjọba ṣètò ohun tá à ń pè ní ranch, kó jẹ́ pé àwọn ọlẹ̀ níbi kọ̀ọ̀kan kí wọ́n pèsè ẹ̀ sílẹ̀, torí Yorùbá náà ń ṣiṣẹ́ màálù. Èmi yìí mo lóko màálù, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ Yorùbá mi náà ló dẹ̀ ní oko màálù. So a fẹ́ akọ iṣẹ́ màálù sísìn ni ó mọ̀ wáyé. Tí a bá wá fẹ́ kí wàhálà máa ṣẹ lóòrèkóòrè, tí Fúlàní ọmọ pa Yorùbá tí Yorùbá ọmọ pa Fúlàní, kí a ṣètò ohun tí àwọn olóyìnbó ń pè ní ranch, ká ya àwọn ilẹ̀ kọ̀ọ̀kan sílẹ̀ tí àwọn èèyàn ó ti máa kó màálù sí. Látara ìyẹn ni ó lè ṣe control. Tá a bá ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ nǹkan yẹn náà ni ó mọ̀ dá sílẹ̀. Mo dẹ̀ ní mo gbà pé pẹ̀lú ògbọ́n tí bá ní àǹfààní àti di gómìnà á gbogbo iṣẹ́ lórí ẹ̀.
Thank you, sir. Wọ́n ti bèrè ètò ọ̀tọ̀ náà.
Sábà wo bí sí òde tó ń sìn, kí ni àmọ̀ràn yín fún àwọn tó ń ṣèjọba lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nípìnlẹ̀?
Tí n bá ní àǹfààní àti débẹ̀ máa ṣe lọ́nà